everybody, welcome to the show. Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Amanda. Welcome to Raising A to Z, this YouTube channel all about homeschooling. Today, I am going to be giving you guys a term update. I am going to be sharing with you how September till now has gone for us. The things that worked, the things that didn't, because some things didn't, and what I'm excited for and looking forward to coming up next year. Before I do that, why don't you guys take a second, make sure you subscribe and then click the bell so you get notifications when I put out new videos. You definitely want to make sure you subscribe and get the bell because there probably isn't going to be a new video until January. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break. It's Christmas and we're going on vacation. But normally I do put out a video every Monday. I have so much cool content coming out in January. You guys are just going to love it. How has our term gone? Our term has been pretty good. I always say that from September till December is kind of like, I find like we get so much done. The kids are so excited. They jump into it so deeply that I find it's like probably one of our more productive terms, just in general. I just find that's just how it is, right? Everyone's excited. We have this really nice routine, but how did it go? So September was really cool. We learned about ancient Egypt. So that was our unit study for September. Alexi picked it because she had seen some mummies and some Egyptian artifacts and stuff at a field trip to the ROM. Put a link up here. You can see when we actually went to the ROM. The Royal Ontario Museum last March, and so she was super interested in learning about ancient Egypt. Zoe wanted to learn about the olden times. She didn't really have much more to add to that statement other than she wanted to learn about the olden times, so we kind of just put them together and hope for the best. And actually it ended up that both kids loved learning about ancient Egypt. It's just so cool. Like there's just so many things you can learn about. We did some great activities. We learned about some Egyptian geography and some like ancient Egyptian life. We made these really cool sarcophagus out of like a clay where we made like the top and then I made like a cardboard base so that it basically was like a sarcophagus. And then our final activity for the whole month, like our big project at the end of the month, we spent a morning mummifying Barbies and like going through the steps of how they would be mummified. There's a link to the video. I'll put it over here because it was so cool and my kids still talk about that 3 months later. Like they thought it was great. September was fantastic. October was also really good. We did a lot of reading in October, which I think was really, really kind of interesting. We studied nocturnal animals. So we were learning a lot about bats, owls, foxes, badgers, moles. We did some fireflies and bugs, spiders kind of thing. And so we did a lot of like really cool nocturnal animal learning. And there's a lot of books out there about nocturnal animals. So like I said, we ended up doing a lot of reading. We read a book called Megabat, which was something that we threw in our morning basket. And I can tell you my kids thought that was like the best thing. It was such a cute story and such a great story of like making friends, of having, solving problems. It was just like, it was such a cute book and it was Canadian, set in Canada, which I thought was even like more amazing. Didn't know that when I bought it. It wasn't until I was like 2 chapters in, they were talking about him living in Toronto that I was like, I did not know this. Anyway, it was a great book. Highly recommend it if you're doing a nocturnal animal unit or something on like bats. It was a great read. And we had a lot of fun. We did have kind of a rough weekend right around Thanksgiving because we're Canadian Thanksgiving is October, where Zoe had a really severe ear infection. And so we did have to take a little bit of a break because she was just out of it. But we had a lot of fun. It was really kind of like a nice laid back unit study, which was really helpful because it was also kind of when everything in terms of like activities was starting to take off. I always find like September is slow to start when it comes to like activities and extracurriculars. They always start late in September for us in our area for some reason. And so like it's always like the last week of September. So October for us was very much like figuring out what this routine and what the extracurriculars and like how do we get to this place, to that place, what's like like how long does it take to drive, figuring all of that out while also doing our schoolwork. So that was October. We had a lot of fun. We did a lot of really cool activities. We were very, very busy. Went to the pumpkin patch. That was super fun. We adored that. But it was a busy month. November, things started to slow down a little bit for us. Kind of towards the end of the month, a lot of our activities were kind of finishing up their like natural, whatever, 10-week cycle or whatever it was. And so it was kind of a nice opportunity for us to not sign up for like in the mini sessions or whatever it was to take us to Christmas. We kind of just let things slowly fall off and then just made a point of signing up for whatever we wanted in January when the time came. So it kind of like every week we had one less activity on our plates. And so that was kind of nice for us, I will say. For November, we studied food and cooking. And so this was a really kind of exciting thing for us. Zoe is my little foodie and she loves it. And so this month we did a lot of like following recipes, fractions, doing some like kitchen skills. So like my kids have been getting really good at like using the peeler. And so they're in there peeling vegetables with me. They're doing some chopping, reading recipes and helping me put things together. And so that has been kind of nice. And it's kind of interesting now because we've done a couple days where we've made a recipe and now Zoe likes to come and pull up a stool next to me whenever I'm making dinner. It's like, can I help? What can I do? Can I, even if it's something she can't do because it's just like I'm sauteing something and it's just not safe for her to be over the stove like that. She goes, can I just watch? And so she's there and she's watching. And so it's really kind of fun. It's been really, really nice. We spend a lot of November kind of preparing for December. And so when we do our tea times, which we love to do poetry tea time, whenever we do tea time in November, we start making like festive holiday cookies and I make a double batch and then I freeze half of it for December. And so that has been kind of nice that we've kind of been doing, combining a few things of like, not only learning about cooking and recipes and stuff, but we've also been like doing a little bit of like Christmas prep at the same time. It's been glorious. Right at the end of November, both kids got RSV and we're basically out for an entire week. So we kind of went into December a little bit because I just wanted to wrap up the unit study aspect that we had done. I wasn't really concerned about the language or the math because basically all we did was sit around and read. So I knew they were getting lots of language. And then with the fractions and the cooking and stuff, I knew we were getting a lot of math in there too. So I wasn't really worried about that. I just wanted to get through the few little, I had a couple worksheets I just wanted to get through and get them done. So we did go into December a little bit, just finishing those kind of things up. But once we finished up that last kind of like week of lessons from our unit study, we just went into full-on Christmas mode. If you want to see what our December plans are and how I handle December as a homeschool mom and with homeschoolers, I'll definitely put a link up here because we don't do any workbooks and it's kind of glorious. It's wonderful. Now we are not into our workbooks. We're just getting ready and prepared for the holidays and it's kind of nice. What worked really well this year that I find is new? Number one, we've definitely introduced the morning basket and that has been such a game changer. Even if we don't do any workbooks because we have to get out to a class or something, it has just been such a nice way to start the morning. The morning basket has been phenomenal. I put a link up here of what's in my morning basket, how I use the morning basket, because it's really been just a game changer for us this year. Another thing that we've done this year that I have not done in past years, usually in past years I have built all of my own unit studies. This year I only built unit studies for stuff I could not find easily. I spent a lot of time on like Teachers Pay Teachers or buying a couple small unit studies. And like I said, small ones. I don't want a ton of information. I want to be able to kind of like supplement and build in things that I want to do too. But I was able to find a lot of great printable unit studies that I was able to pull things out and have those printables and have them in like little duotangs or folders for my kids. That has been a huge game changer, especially for Alexi, who's a little bit older. She has been doing so much more reading and then like the writing aspect of it and answering questions based off of what you're reading, which is kind of a new concept for her. But it has made life a lot easier for me. I don't feel like I'm trying to reinvent the wheel all the time. And I don't feel like I'm trying to like constantly figure out what's coming next. I have a couple pages and then I'm only like supplementing with like some picture books, a novel, and then maybe 2 to 4 activities for the whole month. Really, that's like my goal. And so it's kind of been nice to not have to do everything. And I've really been enjoying it. My kids have been enjoying it. They've been getting to do a lot of things that like we normally wouldn't do. So there's been like word searches, or like there was one that was like bat math when we were doing nocturnal animals. There was different kind of activities that like I wouldn't normally pull out, but they just happened to be in like the Unisday package, and they loved it. Like just to do something different other than the same thing every day. And I didn't have to like recreate the wheel. It was there. It was nice. It added a lot of simplicity to our day in the morning when it came to our workbook time, and I really enjoy that. The other thing that has been really nice this year has been all of the classes and options that have come up. I feel like this is the first year since the pandemic that we have had our full range of classes. And so we have had so many classes. Our like the Science Center has opened and they're doing their homeschooling program. We've had a couple co-ops that have opened up because they have members and they have room and they can actually meet. We have a choir that we've joined, and actually there's just been like so many. There's been homeschool classes for gymnastics. There's been so many activities that have opened up this year, and it's kind of been a little bit overwhelming in a sense. I feel like it was the first time we actually had choices. First time we've had choices of what we want to do in a long time. I feel like the last 2 years have been very much like, we're doing this because it's the only thing that's open, or we're doing this because it's our only option to get out of the house right now. It's been nice to have choices as to what we want to do rather than like there's only one choice. The choices have been nice, and I really enjoy that, and the kids have been enjoying that. What has not been working this year? We've had a lot of choices. We've had so many choices that I think at a certain point, I was like, oh wow, we have definitely overbooked ourselves. There was days where entire weeks where I was like, we are not home a single day this week because we have the Science Center, we have Girl Guides, we have our gymnastics, we have our choir, we have the meeting up with our Friday co-op group, we have this appointment here, we have that, and like literally been like, wow, I feel overrun and exhausted, and I just feel like we've just been running. And so that has been a lesson. That has certainly been a lesson going forward with being careful about what we're picking. I think I got excited by all the options and I picked too many options, and I let my kids pick too many options. And so as November kind of wound down and we had things slowly coming off the docket because they were kind of winding down until their next session in January, I have felt a lot calmer. So, lessons we learned: definitely want to prioritize and make choices about what we want to do, and definitely make priorities. And it's okay to say no. Again, I think it was kind of like an excitement of coming out of all the pandemic and the lockdowns and stuff and being like, we have all these choices, and I took all the choices and now I kind of regret it. But anyway, a lot of stuff is starting up new in January, and so I'm going to be much more selective come the new year. And then the only other thing that's kind of been like a real frustration for us it was actually our Science Center. For some reason, they dropped the ball with the homeschool program brutally, and we've done it before. Like we did it before the pandemic. The amount of problems we've had with like registration, and we've gotten like, oh, click this link to sign up for your classes, and the link has been broken and they've sent like 6 emails about it and still doesn't work. So they just went with a Google form instead of the actual sign up, and having to wait in line for like 45 minutes just to get into the building on homeschool days. And it's been a little bit messy, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for now. But it's definitely made for a very frustrating couple of visits. But we do love going to the Science Center, which is which to me is the frustrating part. It's the bureaucracy and like the administration of all the programs. But once we're like through the door and doing stuff, the kids love it. And we've actually been able to use our passes to do different things that we never ever get to do. We did a whole day. One day I met up with a bunch of friends and we went to the lapidary lab, which is like rock grinding and polishing and stuff, which, having lived in the city my whole life. I've gone to the Science Center at least 2 or 3 times a year since I was like 4 years old myself. Never done that. Because they only have so many wheels and so many like stations. It's not something you need to do with schools. It's basically just like, and it's only one time a day. So we kind of ended up getting to do something that we've never done and that our kids really, really enjoyed doing. We love the Science Center. I just wish the administration would get things kind of figured out. Yeah, that's how our term has gone. We've learned some things. We've enjoyed a lot of things. We've had a lot of fun. I am looking forward to what is coming in January. Right now, we're kind of taking a little bit of a break. This is actually going to be the last video until January because we are going on vacation. We are heading out. We booked a holiday in Florida. We're going to Disney World. And so we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. So you will definitely not have any new videos on here until you come back in January. But January has so much. I'm so excited for what's coming in January. I'm excited for the units that my kids have picked because the next 2 units are definitely kind of really fun units. They're definitely very hands-on. Things that I think my kids are really going to be excited about, which is why I picked them. I definitely have some really cool things coming out in January. We're hoping to launch the podcast in January. We're hoping to definitely do some new products. I have some great collaborations with some awesome brands coming out. Lots of really cool things are happening coming January, and you're just going to want to make sure that you're subscribed and click the bell and get notified so you get all the cool things. Because January 2023 is going to be pretty cool. If you want to make sure that you get the information about all the cool things that are happening, podcasts, new product launches, conferences, like all the cool things that are happening, you're definitely going to make sure that you are subscribed to my email. You can find that at raisingatoz.com. Put a link down here for that. And you definitely want to make sure that you're following on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I've been doing so many cool things on TikTok lately. It's just going to be the best way to get a hold of all newest information. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will see you guys in 2023. Bye.